Hey, fellow Latinos, I'm not saying it's okay or right that black people are like, no, let them fend for themselves. I mean, honestly, it is okay, but I'm not saying like, yes, let's do that, because unity is what helps us. But also, like, I know it's not supposed to be transactional. I just need you guys to start thinking, because you guys are like, all gung ho, active out there, unified together in the streets now. But where were you when the George Floyd protests were? I personally was out there with my friends who were Asian, Pacific Islander, Mexican, and Puerto Rican. And then I'm Mexican myself, and a white husband. We were out there, okay? And I've gotten comments from people in my community, people in my family, who have been like, well, you think you're black. What about me? What about my content? What about the way I speak, the way I act? What about you makes you think that I think I'm black? Oh, because I advocate for black people too, as much as I advocate for my people? It shouldn't be transactional. You shouldn't have to have a dog in the fight to care. You should just have basic empathy. You should just care about people. You see a sad story, oh, you cry. You want to help out however you can. You guys see that all the time. You see a puppy in danger, oh, let's rescue all the puppies. Why is it so hard to do with humans? Black people don't owe us anything. But even one of the major interviews going around about the guy whose girlfriend was taken because they were just recording, in that there's a black man who's in the background, and he's like, si se puede. He's out there. He has nothing to gain from this. So think about that. Don't go back to the anti-blackness. Learn and stop saying the N-word. Do that. Stop saying the N-word and humble yourself. If black people tell you something's offensive, change it. Change it and don't become defensive.
Yeah, welcome to Willy Doki Stories. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Today we are diving into something bold and real. Latinos across America are speaking out, sending a very clear message to their own community about how they view and treat black people. In a time where racial unity is more important than ever, this conversation is starting to heat up in places you might not even expect. And from LA, that is Los Angeles, to Miami. But now, what's sparking this moment of reflection, correction, and confrontation within the Latino community? Is it about anti-blackness? Is it about solidarity? Or is it something deeper rooted in both history and current struggles? We are breaking it all down, the uncomfortable truth, the powerful call from change, and what it all means for the future of Latino-Black relation in America. So grab a seat. This one's gonna be raw, real, and necessary.
Latino saying the N-word, let's talk about it. Because growing up in California, specifically LA, you have the people who understand why you shouldn't say it. What's the point of you saying it? You're not supposed to say it. That is not yours for you to say. And then those that just throw it around like a good morning. This morning I saw a video of Jenny 69, who was canceled, by the way, having beef with Alan Ice, and this is very Latino coded. And she said, like, I don't want to talk about him. Me and that are done or fell out, whatever the case may be. And I'm just like, no mames. That's what we're doing. And I mean, granted, she's a Trumper, so I shouldn't be surprised. But the ignorance, and seriously, like, I just want to take this moment to tell Latinos that is not ours to say. That is not our word to say. Leave it alone, drop it. That just how we have words that we don't want other people to say to us, we cannot be throwing this thing around like that. Like, that is not ours. Stop it.
Also, talking of terms of upset, I don't know how long ago Carlos Santana said this, but ooh, it is upsetting some people, and I have been tagged, honey. Carlos Santana said that, I'm just going to summarize. He said that all of the music that is labeled Latin or Hispanic belongs to blacks, and they need to get the credit for that. You know, he said it's African and they need to get the credit for that. And while I understand the upset, let's break this on down a little bit. The reason that I'm going to justify the upset with the statement is because I'll give you an example. There is becoming more and more common in Black America to be as less associated with African culture. See, Carlos Santana is not close enough to culture to understand what's going on, and it's becoming more and more common to be, they don't want anything to be associated with African ancestry. They don't want no part of it. So to say that they get credit in America for lineage and ancestry they don't even want to be a part of, that's what's making people angry. Take someone who is, I'll say maybe they're 70%, Spaniard and only a teaspoon of African and only a teaspoon of indigenous left. They still acknowledge that ancestry, whereas you have somebody over here who is 70% African and claiming everything else except the African. But just because they've labeled themselves Black American, they deserve the credit over this person who is still acknowledging the little teaspoon they have left. People cannot help how they were born. Well, how does that matter? Colonization. Some families were so heavily colonized that there's little to no African and indigenous left. So the little bit that's left that they try to hold on to. So to give credit to people who don't want to acknowledge their African ancestry when this entire community does, I see why people are upset. So in short, because I know my content is very advanced and I have to simplify it like I'm in kindergarten with coloring books, because people can't grasp the content. They can't grasp the concept of the content. What I'm saying is Black does not automatically equate to African ancestry in America, especially not in 2025 when so many of them deny that they have African ancestry. African ancestry is heavily acknowledged and praised in the Latin and Hispanic communities. So rightfully, they can say that, we can say that it belongs to us and we don't have to credit them because they don't even want to acknowledge that they're African descendant. Only a small group of them do.
Just talk about the anti-Blackness that exists in the Latino community because it's a real thing. And it is only further perpetuating the division between our two communities and contributing to the overall oppression of our two communities. And I know there's going to be some people out there that's like, that's not even a thing. That's not a real issue. But it is. I grew up hearing freaking racist remarks made towards Black people. And I heard it often. And I know so many other people did. And not only is it about anti-Blackness, it's also about internalized racism that some Latinos, including myself when I was a child, felt the need to be white because I saw white people being treated better. And in my mind, I'm like, well, if I'm white, or if I consider myself white, or if I tell people that I'm white, then I am going to be treated better. I didn't understand as a child why I even felt that, but we are socialized as a society to want that unless you break out of the freaking matrix and you realize, oh my gosh, we're all being oppressed by the same freaking systems. So for us to have division and for there to be anti-Blackness in our community is not helping anyone. One, it's just wrong. But two, it's only further perpetuating the oppression that already exists in our freaking society. So there's that part. And then there's this whole dismissal of Afro-Latinos because Afro-Latinos exist. Yet sometimes are classified as not Latino when in reality they are Latinos. Afro-Latinos. And then there's this whole freaking connection to where we find ourselves in American history. Okay? And the fact that many people, many Latinos, Latino men in particular, did not want to vote for a black and Asian, but a Black woman. Okay? And then there's the intersection of machismo, internalized racism, anti-Blackness, and all of it contributing, again, to the further perpetuation of oppression of our communities. That's what I need people to understand. When there's division between our two communities, that is purposeful, okay? Because these systems, these people in power want us to be infighting, when in reality, there's a lot more that we have in common. We are also being oppressed by the same systems. We should be supporting each other. And it is because of Black people and their advocacy that we, as Latinos and other communities, have the civil rights that we have today. The ability for us to even be able to have that privilege was in large due part to Black people, okay? So I need us to understand that. And I need us to have a conversation about that because Even if we were brought up that way, that doesn't mean that we can't change. That doesn't mean that we can't do better, because we can. Okay? Even if society socializes to believe that, we can change, we can do better. So if you want to have this conversation, follow for more.
This for all you Latino influencers that be on the lowest internet talking about black people. Where are you at, black people? Why aren't you marching with us, black people? Out on the National Mall, y'all. I see this Spanish chick, about 400 pounds, posing with her MAGA hat on in front of the president's banner, right? And Chloe, she was not making Good American. The photo shoot, she was not making a cut. Photo, she just posing. Click, click, click. How about y'all get your people in line? Stop worrying about black people. Get your people in line. Okay? Because half of them voted for it. So stop worrying about black people. Okay? Do your own work for once. Okay? And I just thought of one more thing. They always talk about black people. Where you at, black people? You don't hear them saying, white people, why aren't you marching with us? Asian people, why aren't you marching with us? Pacific Islander, why aren't you marching with us? Everybody think black people owes them our labor. We already sacrificed for the Civil Rights Act that all of y'all benefited from. Right? All you community of colors and women. So I just thought about that. Just the audacity. Why don't y'all ask white people to help out? Why don't y'all say that? Why don't you say Muslims? Palestinians, why aren't you marching with us? What this got to do with black people?
So I was reading some of the comments on that video that I posted about the Hispanic woman who talked about how black people weren't there for them as they were for us. And I just want to say, I don't want to confuse anybody, but I do not condone bigotry or racism of any kind. As I have said countless times before, these verbal hands do not discriminate. They're rated E for everybody. Anybody can get it. And you get some people who say, because I am black, oh, well, you know, black people did this too. And I call them out too. It don't matter. They don't get exceptions either. Trust me, my block list and the list of people that have gotten this verbal work is very, very diverse. It's a melting pot. Look, I get it. It's going to be a long 4 years. That being said, we all got to share this planet together, whether we like it or not. I do not condone hateful comments from anybody, period. And from day one, when I came on this app, I have always called everybody out, and even in my personal life. Here's the thing, if y'all willing to stand with me and we can go fight against this nonsense that they're trying to do together, let's do it. But if y'all want to sit there and fight and argue, go ahead. But at the end of the day, we have to go and have these conversations for people to understand each other, whether you like it or not. That's all I got to say.
Hello there. Y'all not gonna like this one. Let's talk about the Native American. In 2007, the Cherokee Nation disenrolled 2,800 freedmen black people from their tribe when federal funding was involved so they get more money. And it violated the treaty that they had with the freedmen black people. The court ruled in favor of the freedmen black people. 1979, the Creek Nation decided to disenroll the black freedmen from their tribe. The Seminole Nation tried to enforce different rules for the black ones. The Chicmacha tribe of Louisiana, between 1904 and 1919, they disenrolled African and Native descent people. To this day, the descendants of those people are not allowed to enroll in the Creek Nation. The Mattapony tribe in Virginia disenrolled their black, if they looked phenotypically black, members out, or if they married black. The Pamunkey tribe, they disenrolled people if they married black people. The Rappahannock tribe, they will not, they disenroll members who look African American. There's more. They did this because they get more money individually and their casino profits and all of that if they disenroll the black people. They also say they don't believe in blood quantum, yet a lot of these tribes make you prove that you have a lot of Native American ancestry. And that one woman who I went back and forth with is a great example of that. My great times through grandmother was Native American, and she told me, because I had no connection, didn't know what tribe, because I was adopted by my brother's dad, didn't know anything about it, that I wasn't allowed to be in tribe. I thought blood quantum didn't matter. I wasn't asking to be anyway. And on the trail of fucking tears, the Cherokee had their enslaved black people that they enslaved with them, which is crazy work to me. Crying while you have slaves. And on those pictures, they never show the black enslaved people. That was really heartbreaking.
Yeah, welcome back again to Willis Doki Stories. And now let's be real about this. And this isn't new for us. The divide goes back to the colonial history, when a racial caste system planted to the idea that whiteness was better than blackness. Right? That mindset was passed down through a generation, and when some Latinos came to the US, they bring it up with them. On top of that, there's a pressure to fit in, which sometimes means distancing from black Americans. But here's the truth, many Latinos are black, right? And Afro Latinos have always been part of the culture, the history, and the struggle. Yet, they've often been pushed aside or made to choose one identity over the other, right? Now that's the changing, and it's powerful to see. It's very evident, right? Latinos are calling each other out, saying, "Stop using the N word." I know you know what I mean by saying the N word. And if you don't respect the black people, learn about black history, not just Latino history, and support. You can just support Afro Latinos. Don't erase them. This isn't about guilt. It's about growth and accountability. And of course, not everyone agrees. Some push back, saying we were discriminated against too. And yes, Latino face racism, poverty, and struggle. But that doesn't give anyone to pass to stay silent about anti-blackness, solidarity, and this means like we can stand up and not standing back, right? And so what's your takeaway? Latino communities are now waking up. The message being sent is very clear. And if you want to be allies, we have to look inwards. That's how real change begins. Not just in black folks, not just Latino, but for everyone at all. Thanks for tuning in this. If this hit home, you drop a comment, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Let's keep this conversation going, because silent is no longer an option. Let's speak it out as our